Hello everyone, my name is Ashley Oliver. Today I'm going to be presenting on CVD, which is cardiovascular disease. I chose CVD because it is very prevalent to my family. We have a lot of it in my family, sadly. But the biggest reason I chose to present on this today was because once I graduate from this program, I would like to become a cardiac rehab specialist. So this whole subject is very interesting for me. So first of all, I'm going to start with physical activity in this population. I'm going to shorten cardiovascular disease for CVD. That way you don't have to listen to me say cardiovascular disease 1,000 times. Like I said, I'm going to start with physical activity in this population. First thing that is very important for this population is setting goals. For example, Jim may have been a sprinter. He may have lifted weights 3 times a week. He has a heart attack. After his heart attack, he's not at the same level of activity that he was before. He's the same person, but physically his body can't take the activity that he did before. So setting reasonable goals and building back to what you were pre-heart attack are very important. Planning and support systems are very important. Jim, making this person up, just as an example, Jim may be very frustrated after his heart attack because he can't walk to the mailbox without being out of breath. Maybe he has trouble breathing at night. Whatever his individual case may be, it's very frustrating to be this independent person and then maybe to have to switch roles and rely on someone else. So setting goals to build back slowly while having a big support system behind you is very important for the emotional side of the healing. One of the biggest things, I should say, for the healing process, or one of the most important things, is the healing and the creation of scar tissue. That's why, they tell you to take it so slow at the beginning, because after your heart attack or transplant, huge, anything, scar tissue has to form to make your heart stronger, because without that scar tissue, your heart's still so weak and vulnerable. So that's just a whole part of the time it takes to heal and its importance. After the doctor releases the individual from, to daily activity, cardiac rehab staff are available at most general hospitals to develop specific programs to fit the need of the individual. Each patient has their own response to different exercises. Jim may be able to get up and walk to the kitchen without trouble. Janet may not be able to barely get out of bed without not being able to breathe well. It just depends on the person, and the specialist, the doctor will tell you have to watch out for certain things, like angina, the chest pain, trouble breathing. You have to watch out for those symptoms because they could all be reactions that your body is saying, hey, I'm not okay, you need to slow down. And so that's what I mean by each case is different. Everybody's going to be at their own separate pace. You have to take things very slow with this. Once an individual has reached a certain level of health, aerobic training and strength training can be brought into their programs. But like I said, not everybody's going to walk in to the rehab and be able to walk 1.5 miles on the treadmill the first day. It's just not realistic. But the strength training and aerobic training are very realistic things that can be brought into the programs once the individual is ready for it. CVD patients have to be more alert of their bodily signals than any other person. Me and you, whoever, normal, everyday people that are healthy can, run and do most of everyday activities, exercising, most everything without having to be on a full alert. Well, CVD patients have to be worried if they're dizzy or if there's weird sweating for no reason, or if maybe they're having some memory loss, or maybe their feet are starting to swell. They have to be on alert for any weird things their body is telling them, because that's an alert to say it's too much. The next topic I'm going to discuss is daily activity and CVD. CVD patients must be vigilant of the pressure being placed on their heart. That means before, when you walk into the kitchen and pick up a bag of potatoes, it may not be the same situation as before. You may have to go about things a different way in order to build back your strength. You can do most of the stuff you did before, but you have to go about it a different way. Light aerobics, and swimming are very popular. I know this relates back to physical activity. However, as far as daily aspects, walking is something so huge. But, and I brought swimming into this because swimming and walking don't place much stress on your body. Swimming especially because it takes that pressure of gravity off, and it takes the pressure of your body weight off of your lower half. But swimming is great for CVD patients because it literally takes all pressures off of them and allows them to get some exercise in. Let's see, what else do we have as far as the walking? Walking you have to watch with CVD patients because since when you stand up, your feet are actually the farthest from your heart, so it's the hardest to get blood flow. That being said, they have to monitor that. Some people it won't affect as much, but for most CVD patients, they have to monitor how much they walk each day. Everyday daily activities, intensity will depend as far as intensity of exercise goes. It'll depend on the individual and their current heart health, along with other components. A lot of cardiac rehabs work on VO2 max, for example. Larry's VO2 max and Jim's VO2 max may be completely separate, so one may be able to do more than the other does. It's just something that both of them have to know, and they have to know their limits. But the intensity of exercise will grow as the program goes on. The next topic is going to be treatments. The number one treatment for CVD patients is lifestyle changes, eating healthier. Two of the main causes of CVD is obesity and smoking. My uncle just went through this process. He had a triple bypass. He's 46, so he's very young to have a triple bypass, but he's a heavy smoker. So his smoking habits really hurt him in, the short run of things. But those are the two main lifestyle changes that you can make to treat this. For patients diagnosed with irregular heartbeats, or anything similar to that, their devices, they can have stents put in, they can have pacemakers put in, they can wear life vests. And in my brochure, I actually put some information on life vest in there because my uncle is currently wearing one. And all it is it's about the size of a sports bra, and it's just like a regular defibrillator that you wear constantly because he's having some issues right now. And until he gets his internal defibrillator, that's what he's going to wear. But all it is a wearable defibrillator. Like I said, my uncle just had that triple bypass, and another treatment available is the internal defibrillator. It's about the size, it's not very professional, but the size is comparable to a box of Tic Tacs, and it sits right below your collarbone, and it runs a wire into your heart, and it's just an internal defibrillator, like all normal defibrillators that'll activate if your heart gets to a dangerous level of a dangerous number of beats, or if it stops beating at all. Cardiac monitoring after and through everything, the treatments, the devices, cardiac monitoring is very important. And all that is your regular doctor's appointments, your specialist, making sure you see your doctor to get your blood pressure checked, everything. So that's also very important. Some people choose not to take the specialist view. They choose to not go to the cardiac rehabs. That's their personal opinions. That's their personal choices. But it is very helpful to use all of these benefits. The next topic to discuss is risk. I'm going to start with pliable risk, which are risks we can change. So physical activity. Some physical activity is good, some is bad, depending on the case of the person. You can change it, before a pre-heart attack by using physical activity to keep you healthy. But once you've had a heart attack or anything else heart-related, you have to monitor that and change it to fit your heart's health. Hypertension, excess weight, cholesterol, all dietary stuff, adjust your diet, fix what you're eating. And tobacco use, like I discussed earlier, one of the first two causes of CVD is smoking. So just cutting that out in its entirety is the best thing you can do. Non-pliable risk we can't change. Gender. Male and female, male in the U.S., CVD is still the #1 cause of death over cancer still. So, and the only difference really with gender is, for some odd reason, males actually have a better chance. It's like 2 out of 3 compared to women to get devices such as internal defibrillators. It's easier for them to get access to those for some reason. Age, they tell you 40 plus to start getting, start checking on such things, blood pressure, cholesterol, etc. And women, actually, a fun fact, women 45 plus are 60% more likely than men to die in the first year of their heart attack than women are to die. I'm sorry, I got tongue tied here. Women are 60% more likely to die than men in the first year after their heart attack, after 45 years of age. And genes, finally. Can't change your genes. Like me, I've got so much of it in my family. The only thing I can do is to pre-plan. Do whatever it takes to keep myself healthy. But, sometimes it's just in our genes and we can't change those. Warning signs. Memory loss. I didn't think of memory loss as a sign of cardiac or as cardiac difficulties until I did this project, but it's just a lack of oxygen and a lack of blood flow. Dizziness at random, unusual perspiration, low energy, swollen limbs, specifically feet, like I discussed earlier, and trouble breathing. In closing, CVD patients live normal lives. However, they do have to make adjustments. Like we discussed earlier, the biggest thing is having patience. These people went from having this active lifestyle or this previous lifestyle that they were accustomed to, and now they switched completely over to having to slow their lives down to a pace which their body can maintain and handle. So the biggest thing is having support and having the strength to do what their doctors advise them and having a lot of patience. Thank you.